I just returned from seeing Top Gun Maverick with my wife, my son, and his wife in Dolby Cinema. I just have one word: intense.
Jeez! Having any fun yet?
This video contains lots of spoilers from the movie, so if you haven't seen it yet and you do not want any spoilers, save this video and come back to it after you've seen the movie. In the meantime, you can check out my non-spoiler review in the card above as well as in the description below. If you're still watching, I'm sure you have the same huge grin on your face as I do after watching Top Gun Maverick. In this video, I'll share my thoughts on the sound, cinematography, story, incredibly touching moments, and even a few things that I did not like about the movie. So let's jump right in. Throughout the movie, there's plenty of nods to the original film. From the very start of the movie, it begins with the iconic Top Gun theme on the deck of an aircraft carrier. Now, I love the Top Gun theme, but this was one of the few disappointments I found with the film. I know they're providing context here, but while watching the film, I struggled to determine if this was an updated reenactment of the first movie or if it was an exact copy from the original. I later discovered that this was indeed all reshot, showing modern equipment, but keeping some of the similar shots to the original film. Now, I would have personally preferred the Top Gun theme to have been played later in the movie, maybe as they're getting ready for the final battle. More on that in just a bit. The word Maverick means an unorthodox or independent-minded person. Now that perfectly describes Pete Mitchell. It's good to see that Maverick hasn't changed his ways since his first appearance in Top Gun 36 years ago, as that really adds a lot of depth to his character, spontaneousness, as well as playing a huge role in the decisions that Maverick is required to make throughout the movie. In the original Top Gun film, Maverick was known for pulling stunts, disobeying orders, and catching flack from his superior officers as well as other aviators. Well, true to form, at the beginning of the sequel, we find Maverick taking an unauthorized test flight in the Death Star. Surprising, right? Maverick was told that Admiral Kane was on his way to shut down the program as they had not reached the Mach 10 requirement to keep the program going. Well, we all know that Maverick has a need for speed. So he's not about to let that happen. This was an incredible scene as Admiral Kane is seen at the gate of the facility as Maverick is taxiing to the runway. Admiral Kane steps outside the vehicle, standing next to a guard shack as Maverick barrels directly towards him. The producer Joe Kaczynski said, "You watch it rip the roof off the guard shack. That was not planned. That was a one-take thing where we destroyed the set, and that's the only shot we got, and that's in the movie." It was awesome. During the flight, Maverick reaches Mach 10 in the Death Star, but in typical Maverick fashion, he lets his pride and his arrogance get the best of him. He pushes the Death Star beyond Mach 10 to Mach 10.4 before the plane reaches its limit, spirals out of control, and Maverick is forced to eject as this multi-million-dollar plane crashes to the ground. Later, we hear the Rear Admiral say to Maverick, 30 plus years of service, combat medals, citations, only man to shoot down 3 enemy planes in the last 40 years. Yet you can't get a promotion, you won't retire, and despite your best efforts, you refuse to die.
You should be at least a 2-star admiral by now. Yet here you are, Captain. What is that?
It's one of life's mysteries, sir.
Maverick is still that unapologetic, cocky aviator that isn't afraid of being court-martialed, demoted, or even grounded. Maverick provides some absolutely breathtaking and adrenaline-pumping aerial cinematography that is simply second to none. Crews wanted the action to be as real as possible, allowing us, the audience, to experience the thrill of being a fighter pilot. To accomplish this, Tom designed an intense 3-month training course to help the actors endure the immense G-forces that they'd be experiencing during the filming of the flight scenes.
Oh my God!
I'm okay.
Director Joe Kosinski said, "I think when you see the film, you'll really feel what it's like to be a Top Gun pilot. You can't fake that. You can't fake the G-forces. You can't fake the vibration. You can't fake what it looks like to be in one of those fighter jets. We wanted to capture every bit of that, and shooting it for real allowed us to do that."
It is aggressive. You can't act that. The distortion in the face. They're pulling 7.5 H's. That's 1,600 pounds of force.
There are so many aerial scenes that left my jaw wide open. Watching this on the big screen, you really get a small glimpse of the immersive experience of flying a jet. One impressive scene was when Maverick is flying the low-level course by himself. Rarely flights are ever flown below 500 feet. Even low-flying military training does not ever occur below 100 feet. They had to get special permission from the Navy to allow Tom to fly 50 feet above the ground at 600 miles per hour. This has never been done before in a movie and likely never will be again. One of my favorite scenes from the movie was when the team ascends over the top of the massive mountain, flip inverted, and descend down the mountain. I absolutely cannot imagine the thrill of experiencing that inside a real cockpit. I went to the theater anticipating the excitement and thrill of Top Gun, but what I wasn't prepared for was the immense emotional roller coaster that it would take me on. 36 years later, Maverick still feels guilty for the death of Goose. The most heartwarming scene in the movie was when Iceman texts Maverick and he says, "I need to see you." It's evident throughout the film that Maverick and Iceman have developed a close friendship over the years, and Maverick values the leadership and wisdom of Iceman. Maverick arrives at Iceman's home to discover from Ice's wife that his cancer has returned. This scene becomes even more powerful when you realize that Val Kilmer, who played Iceman, had throat cancer in 2014 and actually lost his voice. Tom insisted that if he was going to make a Top Gun 2, Val had to be in it. It was such a powerful moment as Iceman uses his computer to type out his thoughts to Maverick. He tells Maverick that he has to learn to let go of Goose's death that he's carried for over 30 years. When Ice stands and begins to speak, I almost lost it. That scene was so powerful and heartfelt. Little did I know that it was just the beginning of the roller coaster of emotions that I would later experience. As they prepare to take the final flight, Maverick is speaking with Goose's son, Rooster, and he makes a comment that they can finish the conversation when they get back. It was at that moment that my throat tightened up as I was certain that Maverick would not be coming back. I was mad, and I was also sad at the same time. Would this mission push Maverick beyond his limits and ultimately lead to his death? They take off from the aircraft carrier and successfully navigate through the terrain beneath the SAM missiles in the allotted time, ascend the mountain, go inverted, hit the target at the base of the ravine, ascend the steep mountain at over 9 Gs, and then the surface-to-air missiles begin to unleash. That entire sequence, I was holding my breath. The rest of the theater was also silent. Rooster's in trouble. His plane is taking heavy damage, and Maverick isn't about to lose another pilot, especially Goose's son. So out of desperation, Maverick sacrifices his plane to shield Rooster from the missiles. Yeah, I almost lost it again. I was certain Maverick was dead. But to my surprise, Maverick survives the crash, but is now immediately being targeted by an enemy attack helicopter. The tension doesn't let up for one moment. There's nowhere to run. How do you escape on foot from an attack helicopter that's aiming its guns and missiles at you? Well, fortunately, Rooster had gone back to rescue Maverick, and he shoots down the attack chopper just as its guns were pointed at Maverick before Rooster's plane is shot down. Maverick takes off running and finds Rooster in the snow. and they both make their way to the enemy's base and steal an old F-14 Tomcat, which was similar to the plane that Maverick flew in the first Top Gun. As they scramble to get back to the aircraft carrier, they succeed in killing 2 fifth-generation enemy planes. And just when I thought that they were in the clear, a third plane is headed straight for them, and Maverick is out of ammo. They're getting shot up, and Maverick tells Rooster to eject, but the canopy won't open. At this point, I'm emotionally exhausted. My heart sinks once again, as I was sure that this would certainly be the end of Maverick. I was completely shocked when Hangman takes out the enemy plane and saves both Maverick and Rooster. This was the only time in the movie that I yelled out of excitement. While watching Top Gun Maverick, I experienced a wave of emotions, from nostalgia, joy, empathy, compassion, anxiety, and I was incredibly close on more than one occasion of tearing up, but somehow I managed to keep it together. I view Top Gun Maverick as being 36 years in the making within the mind of Tom Cruise. The timing of the film is perfect. The cinematography is beautiful and breathtaking. The aerial sequences are unrivaled. The emotional aspect is deep. And the story, well, it touched me in ways that I did not anticipate. My hat's off to the entire Maverick team and to those who have served and are currently serving in the military today. Top Gun Maverick will go down in history as one of the most legendary films of all time. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to like and subscribe to be notified of weekly videos. Check out my non-spoiler review right here and let me know what you thought of Maverick down in the comments below. And as always, you guys be blessed, and we'll catch you in the next video.